Hey guys, what's going on? It's Steve Cronin. So on Friday, April 27th, two of the biggest YouTube channels talking about nootropics and biohacking were removed from YouTube by YouTube. These were Limitless Mindset by Jonathan Roseland and Cortex Labs by Ryan Ballow. Of course, a day later, my channel was removed, and then it took almost 2 weeks to get it back up again and enable uploading videos. But as of today, me recording this, both their channels are still down. So I decided to interview them. I interviewed them over a week ago, but due to my own channel issues, I couldn't post the video until now. So here is that interview. And in this interview, the three of us sit down and we chat about why we think their channels have been deleted, because at that point mine was not, and what's behind the nootropics and the YouTube, and what are their plans for the future. And since I know a lot of you guys who follow me here on YouTube follow them as well, so where can you find them now? All that has come up right now. Today I am joined by Jonathan Roseland of Limitless Mindset and Ryan Ballow of Live Cortex, two people whose channels were deleted completely, seemingly overnight. And I actually do want to clarify that with both of y'all. This all happened within the span of like a day for both of you. Is that correct?
Yep, 3 days ago. I got the notification in the morning. I woke up and saw the YouTube notification that the channel was suspended. And then, I've been fighting with YouTube since then.
Yes, all three strikes within 24 hours here.
Right.
Alrighty, so, and the one thing that the three of us have in common with our YouTube channels, and somehow mine is still up with only 2 strikes, because YouTube's policies, it takes 3 for your channel to be deleted, taken down completely. The one thing that we have in common is that all of our content heavily centers around nootropics, these cognitive enhancing supplements, most of which are legal within at least the country I live in, within the United States. So from my perspective, I wake up in the morning, I see Jonathan, I see your video first on a different YouTube channel you have saying, Jonathan Roseland censored on YouTube. I'm like, what? I watched that video. And then Ryan, I see your tweets, and then I notice that I have 2 strikes, somehow dodged the bullet of the 3rd strike. And so we have me, and then also Ryan, I believe you pointed out to me, that's the Smart Drug Smarts YouTube channel, which has been inactive recently, is still up. And then of course the almighty Bulletproof is still up as well, which I want to get the reasons why maybe that is later. But go ahead,
exactly.
Ryan, you look like you're jumping at the gun to say something. Go for it.
No, I was just saying, the whole thing is fishy for sure. Because if you're gonna, first of all, Roseland's channel and my channel are centered around nootropics, so are yours. And our modafinil videos got flagged and hit. So obviously they're targeting nootropics. But if you're going to target nootropics, first of all, why? Because none of us, like you said, are really talking about anything illegal. We might mention modafinil every now and then, but I'm pretty sure all of us give the disclaimer that it's a prescription compound. And so there's that. We're talking about Alcar, CDP, cholinuridine monophosphate. We're talking about some racetams, which you can take legally and have in the United States of America. We're talking about DMAE. These are basically supplements that are nootropic supplements. But if it's nootropic wide, then why is Dave Asprey's channel still up? Why is the BBC's video, My Smart Drugs Nightmare, still up? Where a kid, gets modafinil illegally from Hab or Sun Pharmaceuticals and then takes it on air. Why is that still up?
Right. He's actually performing an illegal action in the video, and in which cases we were not. To tag up what you're saying, Ryan, you tweeted that no guidelines were violated. And I don't know, in terms of the YouTube community guidelines, as a reason for taking down your channel. And I don't know if you're hit with the same thing as me, but for my 2 strikes, I have been accused of promoting dangerous or harmful content. Is that the same area of the community guidelines that they claim that you violated?
Well, for me,
when I hear dangerous, I just think Steve Cronin.
Definitely, right away, instantly. No, man. No. Well, it's all of it. It doesn't encompass one reason. I basically got the automated cookie cutter response, which said all those things: spam, deceptive practices, illegal or harmful, facilitating or trying to promote illegal or harmful acts, and then they go on to all the other vague stuff, like things like bomb making and all this other crazy stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, nothing specific. Again, they're being vague. It seems to me like someone influenced them, and then the bots came after our stuff. And so the only way to rectify it, I think, is to actually get humans involved, and that's been a difficult process so far.
Jonathan, you said you made a video kind of response to the situation of your channel being deleted, and also recognizing other channels being deleted for talking about things most of which you can buy in like a Walgreens. I mean, the magnesium video, the powder magnesium that I bought from Whole Foods, and that was one of the videos that were flagged. So Jonathan, you said in your video that YouTube is anti-free speech. Am I paraphrasing you correctly? And if so, can you elaborate more on that?
Yes. So so some people watching this some of the people in the audience may be kind of thinking, okay, so these two guys got their YouTube channels deleted and they were making YouTube videos about a subject which is somewhat edgy. They were doing it with some wit and personality and entertainment value. These guys were kind of playing a little bit of a risky game on YouTube's platform. So what if their channels got deleted? They were taking a risk, and YouTube has the right to kick off whoever they want. And to anyone that would that might be thinking that, there's a couple of reasons why I think people other than us who get directly negatively impacted by this need to be concerned about this. And YouTube is going in this weirdly puritanical direction with this structure of policies, of community guidelines, which is not like a philosophical or rationally consistent structure of policies of what's allowed and what's not allowed. And it is enforced with this with no consistency whatever, with an extreme degree of inconsistency. You can go on YouTube right now and anybody on the planet with internet access can find within 2 seconds a vast amount of content that is promoting and glorifying the most degenerate use and abuse of narcotics and drugs. Yet what gets targeted is people that are talking about health and fitness and science. And there's going to be people that are going to take like a conspiratorial view on this, that they're going to say that YouTube is acting in the best interests of its advertisers in the pharmaceutical industrial complex, who are in the business of selling a pound of cure to the people biohackers who are in the business of selling an ounce of prevention to, right? And they're trying to protect their advertisers.
Sure.
And then there's going to be even people that take the conspiratorial line a bit further, and they say that YouTube seems to promote to its audience whatever is like the most like degenerate, whatever is the most debased, dehumanizing content gets promoted to the front of YouTube. Yet people that are talking about health stuff and fitness stuff and positive mindset stuff, those people are getting demonetized, and YouTube must be like secretly satanic, right? And I'm not going to attribute malicious intent when incompetence will suffice. And so yeah. I think what's probably happening here is just that YouTube has just an army of paranoid people that are looking to justify their salaries so that they can pay their rent there in San Bruno or in California. And so they're just getting way too liberal with the censorship, and I just see YouTube as a sinking ship
Yeah.
So
The more they do this, the more that people are going to go away. I mean, look, if they don't reinstate my channel, that's it. I'm going to Vimeo. Everything's going to be on livecortex.com. And yeah, I mean, they'll lose one of the most popular nootropics YouTubers out there with 500 videos and very many hours of content. And you're right. We'll just get off their platform. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, Ryan, I have a question for you. Very quickly, I want to say, Jonathan, to your point, one of the commenters on my latest YouTube video talking about this issue, so I can't verify it's true, but one of the commenters said that they saw a channel about archery be deleted because it was the act of archery, which has been around well long before any of us have been alive, right? Was taken down because it promotes harmful content. So Ryan, my question to you, a little different than Jonathan. What do you think's really going on here? Why, within a matter of a day, were 3 of our channels targeted, 2 of them being the 2 of yours actually deleted, possibly others having either strikes or deleted that we may not know about? Why did this kind of all happen in one day? Is it more than maybe the bots at work that Jonathan was speaking of? What's your take on it?
Well, I don't know the answer to that question, but my theories are the following. Number one, whether it's okay, let's just start with government. Government seems to have their hand, especially in the UK, in trying to limit nootropics usage and nootropics discussion. So that we've seen that before. I mean, we had a problem selling Cortex into the UK because it has CDP choline in it, and apparently in the UK, CDP choline is like prescription or you can't use it there or something. So they've been doing that crazily, right? The Psychoactive Substances Act in 2015 launched, where unless it's coffee and alcohol or something, you can't have it there. Anything that's psychoactive sort of
right. The government has to get their taxes on the alcohol. That's
right, exactly. and all the other bad stuff that's way worse for you than aniracetam. So there's that, and so that could be filtering into the United States of America. That's one theory, but my other theory on it, which I think is more plausible, is that very simply, pharmaceutical industry has influenced YouTube like they influence other major big companies. I mean, think about it. YouTube is Google, and Google's just one of the biggest companies. Google, Apple, Facebook, a few others. So pharmaceutical industry does not like how, what Jonathan was kind of getting to, how we're out there talking about prevention or we're talking about alternatives to certain pharmaceutical compounds. They don't like that. They don't like how I, as an example, I'm always talking about certain benzodiazepines inhibit the functionality of acetylcholine. And when people are wondering why their memory sucks when they're taking certain benzos, but they can take aniracetam or other cholinergic facilitators and it starts to get better, then they start to, point an evil eye toward the pharmaceutical compounds that are making them feel crappy. And so that's another potential, that's not good for big pharma whatsoever. And then generally speaking, I don't think pharmaceutical industry wants us or anybody, especially with the popularity that all of our channels have. And we're reaching hundreds of thousands of people. They don't want us to be suggesting things that improve brain performance or improve performance in general other than pharmaceutical compounds. You know what I mean? That's it. They're just, it's another example of them trying to run their hardcore monopoly on everything and everybody. And that's how they play this game.
Okay. So other than modafinil, which we've been targeted for, which is one of these prescription drugs, Jonathan, I know that you, like me, and now I've deleted these videos since, but that I know you talked about Kratom, especially, which has a lot of different uses, right? But a lot of people use Kratom, which is a plant, for pain relief as an alternative to some of these opioids like codeine, oxycodone, hydrocodone. Jonathan, you mentioned in your video that you suspect that you were targeted also for your Kratom videos. How does that, if you agree or disagree with what Ryan just said, please let us know. But how does that tie into your Kratom videos?
Let me just jump in and say one quick thing.
Go for it.
The other thing that that I think is a theory is that, look, they probably want us to advertise. I mean, for me, they know we're pitching Cortex, we're pitching our nootropics books, we're pitching a nootropics consulting service. They know that, and they know we have a business and a large following. And so if they yank us off of YouTube, then, the next logical step, in an entrepreneur's mind is to start advertising. So that's another theory that they're trying to.
Okay, yeah, and that's a great point. Yeah, exactly.
All right, sorry, go ahead, John.
I'm not certain if Kratom has a whole lot to do with this. I've had this odd relationship with the Kratom community for several years now, because I learned about Kratom a couple of years back when it was becoming popular, I think from the good-looking loser guy. And I just went on PubMed and I just looked up what the PubMed studies were saying about Kratom, and the conclusions that were being reached in a lot of the abstracts of these studies were quite disparaging of the stuff. And so I said, okay, I see anecdotally on one hand that it's helping like thousands and thousands of people, but on the other hand, the studies are expressing like some risk in it. So why don't I do a YouTube video and just present a balanced view on it? And this seemed to attract the crazies of the internet to come out of the woodwork, because a lot of Kratom activists are people that are former heroin addicts that use it to taper off of heroin, which I personally think is great. Like if there's something that can help people get off of heroin or off of opioid pills, then that's amazing. Let's make people aware of that. But I received, I believe, different times that I was flagged by people in that community, because they were just like, we need to silence everybody who's saying anything negative about Kratom. And it would appear, however, that the American Kratom Association is kind of losing their fight on Kratom. Every time I check out their email newsletters, I'll hear about some new incremental little law that's restricting Kratom. So yeah, it's a disturbing trend in combination with, you see with like what you see in the UK, where they're like, okay, psychoactives ban, just everything categorically. We're going to deprive people of the freedom to put things in their body.
Yep.
All right, so let's talk about, this is a question for both of you. Ryan, you're first up. What are the next steps? Both of you have already kind of started to take action from what I've seen on the internet, but Ryan, with your YouTube channel gone, and of course the disheartening feeling that comes with that, what are you doing now? What is your plan moving forward, both for yourself as a personality in the space and of course your business?
Well, there's two things. I mean, if number one is fighting with YouTube, because again, I've caught many inconsistencies in their explanation for what's happening. So on one hand, we're talking about modafinil. On the other hand, we're talking about illicit drugs, which isn't the case. On the other hand, we're selling product. We're promoting product. So first of all, continuing to point out their inconsistencies and actually get in front of people who are willing to review this stuff, where if their logic is wrong, we could refute their logic, and therefore they'd have no choice if they're in any position of following some degree of ethical code to, reinstate our channel. Reinstating the channel is number one. I'm not 100 yet, and I plan to live to 100, so I'm not rolling over now. So that's number one. If we cannot win the battle for some reason, which again I find hard to believe because I'm just not going to give up, and I think we're right. We shouldn't have our channels terminated for this. Then for me, it's look, we've got a podcast that's 74, 75 episodes on iTunes, Cortex Lab Nootropics podcast. Basically, I'm going to double and triple down on that podcast and be putting out podcasts every day. Because what we were doing on the YouTube channel was putting out like super dense, high quality nootropics information every day, with different stacks every day and different philosophical positions on nootropics every day. So gonna blast the iTunes podcast hardcore. Secondly, though, if you can't get the YouTube channel back, then the format is what I think has gotten my company such a following and has gotten people really used to watching our videos every day. And that format is video content daily that people get to learn new things about nootropics in. So I'm probably just going to use Vimeo or a paid video hosting service to deliver that same content, and that content's just going to go directly on livecortex.com.
All right.
That's what's going to happen. That's my strategy right now if we can't get YouTube to stop being crazy.
Alrighty, Jonathan, same to you. What are your next steps, both for yourself as a personality in the space and also for your business?
Sure. So Ryan mentioned fighting YouTube, and I did just a bit of research on this before I got on with you guys. There's a couple of lawsuits against YouTube already, and most of them are kind of like politically oriented lawsuits. Like PragerU has they actually have a jury lawsuit that's going to commence at some point in California. So I think I'll encourage people to check out what they're doing. And what I would rather do personally, I'm not, I'm not like a cryptocurrency millionaire or anything like that. So I can't really afford to finance a lawsuit against YouTube. So what I would much rather do is I would much rather support like other much more organized, much more well-funded actions that are pushing back against what YouTube is doing. And what I'll also direct people's attention to is that there's several explicit free speech networks on the internet, because what's happened to us has happened to so many people now that there's actually a burgeoning sector of the tech economy which is like explicitly against these type of policies. So that would be Gab, DTube, Steemit, and Minds.com. Those are the major ones. There's a couple of other ones out there, but we're like really concerned about actually being in front of the eyeballs, actually getting in front of people. So I would love to say going into the future, I'm just going to be devoted to my own website. I'm just going to focus on my own website. Yeah. I'd love to take that approach, but I just don't think that's really realistic in this day and age where social media is a place where people are spending so much time. And if we're going to be effective in evangelizing biohacking and anti-aging and living to 100, we really need to be there in the conversation where people are. So I'm gonna go hard on the free speech social networks from now on. And I was also thinking about, I was like, okay, what I need to do is the best way for me to respond to this setback is to try to increase the value that I'm bringing to my audience, try to make my channel and my brand and what I'm doing even more appealing and helpful to people for free if possible. And so what I was thinking about there's not Steve, you've probably seen this guy Stefan Molyneux, and he has this podcast where he does these call-in shows, and people call in anonymously to chat with him about really any topic under the sun. Mm-hmm. And I don't intend to copy that exactly, but I'm thinking that there's a bunch of great health shows out there on YouTube and on iTunes, of course, but I'm thinking that we could increase the value by, all three of us, we get so many email inquiries and like questions from people that need our help with whatever issue, usually health related, but sometimes like a mindset related issue they have. And we could devote some more time to these people by doing like call-in style of shows with them. So I think that's something that I want to experiment with that can help individuals, that can be like ultra high value for that individual and also free for them, but that can also be a different kind of experience for the audience.
John, I think it's a great idea. I mean, upping audience engagement on your platform, I think, is always a positive thing. And that's something that I've dabbled with in the past. But I think, doing more of that, offering higher value content. Also, the point you made, I don't really know anything about marketing, right? Like I've been using a YouTube channel seriously for about 3 years and kind of learning on my own. Like my formal education is in psychology, right? So But one of the things that I've been reading a lot is like it's better to have your audience on your own platform, meaning your own website, like you said, Jonathan. Your website, your mailing list, that way it's more under your control. And when you play on other people's platforms like YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, etc., sometimes you can lose and you lose everything. But it is so much harder to grow without a social media presence. And so I've also explored some of these alternatives you mentioned, like Steemit and DTube. And I see, Jonathan, you have been uploading your videos to DTube. In regards to a weekly call-in show, that sounds like a good idea. And who knows, maybe assuming my channel is still around and I survived the storm because I have deleted 101 videos, all the Kratom ones. I left one modafinil up, but kind of modified the title. If I survive the storm, maybe we can have more shows like this on all of our platforms, which I think would help the community as a whole. Okay, so let's wrap this up because longer YouTube videos aren't usually watched by everyone all the way through. At least that's what my analytics tell me. So let's go to final thoughts, final words. You can include a call to action in there. Ryan, you're up.
All right, so final words is the one weird thing that's been happening throughout this entire time is, yeah, I mean, this just makes me reinforce the idea that, like, humans are influencing bots to go and do this. I continue to get, so, like, they sent me email saying my channel was terminated, which it is when you go to the channel. But now I continue to get that email that says, we'd like to inform you that due to repeated or severe violations of our community guidelines, your YouTube account has been suspended. So now, like, I'm getting automated emails saying it's suspended when it was already terminated. I thought this already happened, but I'm still getting automated emails. So this just tells me it's basically a cluster F over there. Like something's going on, and they don't even have their own stuff together. I just got another email now. Like, would you want to appeal it? Yeah, like, whatever. So
okay,
anyway,
so they're giving you the option to appeal the channel suspension.
Yes,
that's great. That's fantastic.
No, and the termination.
Hopefully they give you more than one sentence like they do with a YouTube video.
Yeah, right. And I sent the appeal, and by the way, they responded and said, no, we are going to hold tight on our decision, and you're still, toast. This is when I had to escalate it to, like, live people on Twitter and stuff. And so anyway, my call to action is look, livecortex.com, livecortex.com/blog. All of our podcasts are going to go there. Facebook, okay, right now, fingers crossed, knocking on wood, Facebook has not killed us. They would have no reason to, of course, unless they wanted to get, neurotic like YouTube has been getting, which isn't unlikely. Facebook.com/Cortex Stacks. Facebook.com/Cortex Stacks. We're going to be putting out all the videos that we ordinarily would on the Cortex Labs Nootropics YouTube channel, a video a day or more, and all the podcasts are going right there. So we haven't put a whole bunch of time and attention on it so far. So go to Facebook.com/Cortex Stacks and like it. Everything we post is going to be there, and then livecortex.com, livecortex.com/blog.
Alrighty, livecortex.com, livecortex.com/blog. Jonathan, what are your final thoughts in this whole debacle?
Call to action is let's try to get a hashtag. Let's try to get a hashtag, some visibility. The hashtag is going to be Biohacker ban.
Yep.
Hashtag Biohacker ban.
Yep.
And I'm going to ask that you guys and that everybody listening to my voice try to tweet this to Rogan, to Dave Asprey, to Ben Greenfield, to Alex Jones, to whoever you want out there who is going to be interested in this. And if we can increase the visibility of this quite egregious example of arbitrary censorship, it's going to be just increasingly embarrassing for YouTube. And I don't really have much hope that they're going to give me my channel back, but I think that YouTube is on it's at the fork in the woods where it might actually, redeem itself as to being a good platform, as opposed to going in the direction of just being total intellectual tyranny across the internet. So my final thoughts on this is that going into the future, because everyone on YouTube, like right now, Steve is just like every waking moment that your channel is not yet banned, you're like thanking your lucky stars. And so what this is going to do is this is going to have an effect where the people on the internet who kind of fall into this like nouveau journalistic class where we are like looking at studies and then trying to interpret the latest science and making it useful to the layperson who doesn't have time to read studies. This class, they're silencing us, and this is going to prevent lay people from being able to learn the things that they really need to learn about some exciting new technology or supplement or biohacking strategy that could make a fundamental difference in helping them overcome their crippling depression or their brain fog or their grandmother's Alzheimer's. These things that can help people so much because they work on our minds. People are not going to hear about it because YouTube is doing its damnedest to motivate us to not talk about anything that could possibly somehow in some way be misconstrued or misunderstood as edgy or offensive to someone out there.
Yep.
So if truth, the price for the convenience of YouTube is truth. If truth matters to people, I urge them to get off of YouTube from time to time.
Alrighty, and your so biohacker ban, hashtag biohacker ban. I think you can hashtag YouTube videos now, so I can go ahead and do that for this one, assuming I'm able to upload it to YouTube. On Twitter, Jonathan, what is the #1 place that people can find your content as of right now?
Okay, limitlessmindset.com, and then check out D.tube, d.tube. It's pretty good. It's like for a brand new video social network, it's not bad. And there's all the interesting stuff that's not allowed on YouTube. You can look at over there if you so dare.
I'm a fan of DTube. To everyone watching, thanks for tuning in, and please check out Ryan and Jonathan's new projects that will be coming. But for now, limitlessmindset.com, livecortex.com, livecortex.com/blog. And hopefully in the future, we can have more conversations like this in the future for y'all to see, assuming my channel.
Yeah, it stays up. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, guys, and take care, everyone.
Hey, wait, last thing, Biohacker ban, everybody. Just go to Twitter.
Hashtag
and just use the hashtag Biohacker ban and tweet it out there. If you want our channels back, just tweet at YouTube and say the Cortex Lab Nootropics channel is gone. It was removed wrongly. You got to reinstate it. You got to blast them up and use that hashtag.
That is it for now, folks. Yes, it is Steve Cronin here, audio only. Just realized I didn't record an outro for this video, and it's super late. I have unwashed hair. No one wants to see me on camera right now. I hope you enjoyed the interview with Jonathan and Ryan. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you want to see more interviews with both of them in the future about certain subjects, or either one of them individually, let me know. I'm sure that they'd be happy to come on, since as of this recording, their YouTube channels are still deleted. Take care, peace, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.